Crowds are crashing all over Walt Disney World this September, and there's a backlash forming online. The fans of the parks now demanding that the executives change direction, but no change is in sight. Today we'll tell you what's going on, what's going down, and how low those crowds can go this autumn season. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we continue to call balls and strikes, and give you the need-to-know info about Walt Disney World. Click the like button and drop a comment down below. Let us know when was the last time you visited the happiest place on earth, and what was your thoughts on it versus what it was years and years ago. Well, folks, there's no denying what we see on the screen right now, and that is we're at thrillData.com, which tracks the average wait times for all of the rides at Disney World. And despite the fact that there are less rides right now at Disney World than there have been in a very long time, you can see that September over here, the month that we're in, even despite the fact that the majority of September was affected by the Labor Day weekend, so it's going to get worse. It is down at 22 minutes average wait time for every attraction. Now, you may say to yourself, Pro, that's wonderful. We're about to go in September. I can't wait to have an empty park all to myself. And congratulations, you're right. If you are going to Disney World to enjoy it, there's not been a time like this since September of 2021. And guess what was going on in September of 2021? Yes, the pandemic was still plenty in effect. And in fact, the only other 2 months that compare to this month, September, that we're in right now, were July and August of 2020. Now think about that for a minute. July and August, when the parks reopened during the pandemic, some states were still completely closed down. You couldn't leave your apartment in New York, hardly. And if you want to know how bad it is, folks, this is bad. September of 2020 had longer wait times than today. Oh my. You couldn't leave your home in half the country in September of 2020. Longer wait times in September of 2020 than today. And guess what, folks? Guess what? There were capacity limits like crazy in September of 2020, which meant, half the normal capacity or less could go to the theme parks. So that's a problem, eh? All right, take a look at this. I had posted something from an online contributor to X, let's say. It was somebody asking for people to give them suggested questions to ask the president of Disney World. They wanted to know from their ex-followers, what should I ask? I get this really cool interview. I get to ask any question I want. And so I posted this. I reposted it because I had nothing to do with the replies. I was reading the replies. There were like 200 of them. And I couldn't believe just how negative they were towards Disney. And so I said, read the replies. This is why being an influencer for Disney is a losing proposition. Now that post is unavailable. Like it's just been removed, right? Total colossal fail. And you can see the people joining in now to talk about what I've said. TGTK, hashtag free speech, says being an influencer is a losing proposition in general, especially in this space, and especially with the fundamental tenets of TFM not being allowed. Ghosty Tongue says, I would, but replies don't load. That's exactly right. GatorFan says, I thought my reply and recommendation for a question was a very good one. And Grumpy Disney Dad says, imagine thinking being an influencer for Disney is anything more than being an unpaid simp. Now, I don't want to throw, aspersions at anyone. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to say, like, if you ask people, in a friendly way, hey, what would you like me to ask the Disney person? You get hit with a deluge of angry people who don't like the direction of the parks, and that is how you arrive at a situation such as what we see. You can say September's the off season. They already said that June, July, and August was the off season. We've covered that here on the channel. People suddenly started saying, yeah, well, summer's the off season at Disney World. Oh, since when? Right? But September really is, it always has been, the off season, right on through middle of October. This is going to get rough. This is going to get rough because we haven't seen anything like this. Let's go to Shane Morris now out of X, who says, as someone who lives close to Disney World, people often ask me for an impression before coming to Florida to visit the parks. He's not saying that they ask him for an impression of Mickey Mouse, right? He doesn't get on there and say, oh boy. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying, what does he, as someone who lives near the parks, what does he think about it? He says, these days, I tell them actual children are few and far between. It is rapidly becoming a resort for adults who never grew up. Now, the reason he's saying that is because Catherine Boyle, he's responding to her. She says, I went to Disney with my oldest and my mother just after the pandemic. The Disney hotel we stayed at when I was a kid had replaced the beautiful fountain and pianist in the lobby with a massive bar area that was already packed at 3 p.m. We haven't gone back mainly because it's sad. So that's what he's responding to. And we've seen this all over Disney, right? The barification of the brand. That's what they're doing. Cracker Barrel is blandifying. Disney's up to that as well with Frontierland. But Disney is going all in on margins. Disney believes that in order to get the money they need as attendance crashes, we believe that they think they need all the booze they can get. And so, well, boozity, 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 booze. It's nonstop booze for adults all around Disney. Now, if you want to see the backlash in high definition, I want to show this to you. If you want to see, maybe you think Pro is cherry picking. Pro, maybe you are dissatisfied with the quality of this video and you believe Pro is misleading people. He's giving skewed information. The crowds, they're not that low, despite what everybody says. And I'll show you this. We're gonna have this out tomorrow, okay? All Ears says you won't believe these crowds in Magic Kingdom right now. The park is empty. We'll cover that tomorrow. But maybe you're saying Pro is fibifying. He's going to these specific little places. So let me dissuade that argument for a moment, if it's okay. I want you to see the backlash is real. It is there. It is apparent. And we are now headed for a decade of Disney doing exactly what the market is telling them not to do. Right? The market said, don't destroy Splash Mountain. Let's tear it down. The market said, don't tear down Rivers of America. Let's drain it quick. That's the problem with Disney right now. They do exactly what the market tells them not to. And they're going to suffer. And investors, you better be paying attention to this. I can't give you financial advice, but you better be paying attention to this. If Disney World goes down, that is the crown jewel of everything Disney. Disney World matters so much more than any other asset they have. It dwarfs Star Wars. It dwarfs Marvel. Don't damage Disney World. They are doing it. They have a decades-long plan to do it. All right, so let's see. Here's the evidence that there is truly a backlash. This is from Disney Parks, and they said, just announced, Cinderella Castle at Walt Disney World is getting a new color palette. Inspired by the classic and original look of the castle, they're basically turning it back to the original colors, and they're going to keep some of the gold frills that they have right now. Okay, so they're going to paint it back to what it was. That's really not an announcement, you know? It's like announcing that, hey, we're finally taking that giant wand off Spaceship Earth. We're going to make it look brand new. Well, you took down a promo. Okay, we got it. So they're gonna take off the promo paint, repaint it back what it's supposed to be, make it look like it's, I'm so tired of the pink castle. Rose gold. No, it's pink. All right. So this is a mundane, very benign kind of post, right? Everybody with me on that? They're gonna paint the castle back. Shouldn't be any backlash there. That is as easy going as it can be. We're just gonna scroll through the comments. OGK.Ron says, so it's being repainted. LFGM says, bring back the Christmas lights and then I'll care. Ride Rover, hey, Ride Rover's excited. He's got Kermit. Disney Freak says, hot take, but the 50th colors are better. Jenna says, thank God. Now just bring back the dream lights. Dr. Hart says, bring back ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you bunch of leftist clowns. Yeah, did you know that? Did you know that Disney removed ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? They removed that. Now it's friends of all ages. Because you can't have gendered language at Disney. Let's see. One of those Splash people says, while you're listening to fan feedback, please could you restore Tiana's back to Splash Mountain and fill the rivers back up? Thanks. Ice Wolf is happy about it. That Fox says, good. Road to recovery. Now we need these two back as another step. Joe says, bring back the dream lights. Suzanne says, exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess Epic Universe has you scared. Jake says, and the Christmas lights. Frank says, that's nice, but let's get moving on Spaceship Earth. Ashley says, now we need the Christmas lights back. Florida Dad, is happy. Nice little gator, Florida Dad. That's nice. Anyway, as we go through here, WDW DVC says, first step in turning back time. Now bring back free Fast Pass Plus for paying guests staying at Disney-owned resort and true DVC members staying at DVC properties, and exclude DVC renters, exclude those that did not purchase directly from DVC. So there you go, folks. Oh, Kate Fisher says, wow. You finally listened to your audience for once. Way to go. More of this, please. Folks, that's where Disney is right now. They make a benign, normal, simple announcement. We're gonna paint the castle back. More than 50% of the comments are negative. Not about the paint. People are fine with that. But about all the stuff that Disney took away, whether it's Fast Pass, whether it's Splash, whether it's what they're taking away right now with the Rivers of America, whether it is what they've taken away in terms of, getting to feel like a kid. Now it's bars, 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 and bars everywhere. Not gold bars. Disney would love those, but no, alcohol bars. Bars, So that's where we are. And that's why Disney is plummeting. And Disney is doubling down on these decisions, right? September, just remember this. If you take anything away from this video, the big truth with a capital T, you need to know. This is not my truth. This is not your truth. This is the truth. The truth is, this September that we're in right now, we haven't seen these kinds of low crowds since the pandemic. Since the pandemic. Not post-pandemic, since in the pandemic. That's bad. That's B-A-D, capital B-A-D, bad. All right, folks, we're sad to see this happening to Disney. We wish they would change course. They're doubling down, tripling down, and going more and more and more into what has, soured so many of their fans. Let us know in the comments below what you think about all of this and what you'd like Disney to do to fix, to rectify, to change things up, and to satisfy their fans once more. Click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And folks, until the next time, we have the joy, the honor, the pleasure, and the responsibility of spending the time we can with you, telling the truth that only we know how to do. Keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
I'm the ghost of Star Wars.
You know what would be a real treat this Halloween? Checking out WDW Pro.
Guys, I'm the ghost of Star Wars. Get it?
We should go and make sure we're subscribed.
Guys, I'm the ghost of Star Wars.
And while we're at it, we'll ring that bell to make sure we're notified.
Great, let's go. Because, we actually care about that. Let's go.
Fact. Star Wars is not dead. It's haunting the staffs of Disney Plus.